Hey everybody, Boomhauer69 here, and today, Boomhauer69 is going to show how I would simply cook on the ground if I was a homeless person or hobo, how I would do things. I'm going to show you some of the things I would use and stuff and what I would do in this video, show you exactly what I would do if I was basically homeless, camping somewhere where I really wasn't supposed to be camping, because I was homeless people. They don't have a place to stay or anything, so they're usually trespassing on private property and doing what they can do to survive and camp, going out in the woods and camping on private property and stuff. So if I was homeless, one of the things I would try to do is have minimum gear. What I would actually do is, besides this kind of little bit of a setup, what I would try to do more is get one of those little small tabletop cheap barbecue grills that they have where you can set it on a table and cook or something. I would try to do something like that, or I would try to find in the area a nearby public park that had them little barbecue grills. Some parks have them little barbecue grills in the ground, and I would try to go to one of them and do some cooking on. But one thing I definitely would be doing is going in the woods, gathering up old sticks and some twigs and stuff, and get some fire starters here. Like, I would be definitely getting me some matches, a big lighter, or if I had the money, a ferrocerium rod. One of those fire strikers here, a ferrocerium rod that allows you to make sparks. I don't know if you see that on camera too good. Again, big lighter, matches, that sort of thing. I'm going to be lighting this with matches. I have them. I would also, even at local hardware stores, look at UCO store matches too, is one of the things if I had the money and stuff. But for this setup, I'm going to use just basic old diamond strikeable matches, and the only reason why I got this is because it's got the striker on it, and to light a match I'll need a striker here. But one of the things I would definitely do if I was homeless is get some newspaper to help with fire starting, and some sort of tin like this, or some sort of pie tin or something. One of the things I would definitely do, and I got here to show, I'm not going to use it in this video, but I would mostly do like most homeless people would do, is get like go to like a thrift store and try to get like some sort of pot with a lid on it and some cooking utensils, like something to stir. I got a fork and a spoon in here, and then also a ladle for scooping and stuff. So I would definitely be, if I had a little money, like I was picking up in Michigan, we have a 10-cent bottle policy for turning in recyclable pop cans and pop bottles and stuff, and so you can go to any store, turn in pop cans, pop bottles and you can collect 10 cents. So I'd be definitely collecting 10 cents cans and be turning them in, and then taking the money, going to my local thrift store in the area. Like there's one in the next town over to me, that way towards the east of me, a town that has a thrift store called Pocket Change 360, and I'd definitely be, if I was a homeless person and needed some stuff, I'd go to them and tell them my situation and see if they could help me out, or if I had money, go buy some things from them to definitely help, like some sort of cooking pot with a lid on it. Or if I happened to be homeless and I had a couple dollars on me to buy something to eat, one of these little Jiffy popcorn tins, I would definitely look one of these bad boys up. I actually used these before in cooking. I would get one of these bad boys, and then when I was done eating the popcorn, I would save the little metal tin tray for cooking eggs or whatever. I've done that before. Now, I'm not going to use this in this video, but there's videos on my YouTube channel where I have done cooking before, because I'm going to be cooking up a pretty big meal and stuff. I got 2 cans of of cheap pescatarios and some meat and stuff. So I'm going to be not using this because I obviously would not have enough room to cook it. So this would be one of my temporary solutions. And so if you're ever out camping somewhere and you get some of that jiffy popcorn that you make on the stove or open campfire, and you shake it really fast to make it pop and help the oil mix up with the seeds and make it pop, I would definitely save this, because these come in handy if you're in a situation where you end up needing a frying pan and you forgot one. You could, in a pinch, in an emergency situation, use this for a short-term use and stuff. And I have videos on that as well. What I would also do is for like a little mini fire pit grill thingy. One of the things I would do is get like some sort of little pie tin of some sort. This one I'm going to be using here was just some that had like a little tray that I got of little potatoes that you would bake in the oven, and I saved a little tin from it and stuff. But most commonly you're going to find, obviously little aluminum little pie tins and stuff to do. And what I would do is, if I had no other option, I couldn't get a barbecue grill or have access to a grill, I would just simply use one of these as like a mini fire pit. And then I would take some here, I got some wire coat hangers. They actually still got the rubber coating on, but I'm not worried about that. But I would take some wire coat hangers and make me some little pot holders, like you see here. Simply not the greatest, but yeah. Simply do this and go to town cooking. That's what I do, basic setup there. But that's basically what I do. Set my stuff on there and be very careful, and that's how I would do some cooking. Obviously not the greatest setup, but like I said, if I didn't have a way to get access to a barbecue grill or something, like there wasn't a park nearby me that had one or whatever, and I was out in the woods and I needed to cook something, I would do this. Instead of building like a big old fire pit, like some homeless people would obviously gather up a bunch of rocks and make a big giant circle and throw a bunch of wood and make a big fire. But if I wanted to make a small fire because I didn't want to be seen by a bunch of people, I didn't want to have a bunch of smoke and then people say, hey, there's smoke and all that stuff, then this is what I would do for a small fire setup and stuff. To simply cook the food I had to cook and stuff, I would do this. Now this is not the best setup ever. It's just quick throw together thing, but the reason why I got the wires like this is so that way there's space in between the fire and the wood and stuff. So yeah, it's not bulletproof, The wire coat hangers are super cheap. They're dollar store specials, but I've got them set up like this so that way there's space in between, so there's enough air flowing to keep the fire going, to keep the food that I'll be cooking, keeping the food to help keep the heat food up. Because obviously if you sat right on top of the fire, you'd snuff it out because there'd be no oxygen getting to it, because in order for a fire to keep going, it needs oxygen to survive and stuff. So, and I also got here some water to either simply, if I had to, drink some, but in this case it's going to be for putting the fire out when I'm done cooking and stuff, because safety. So you'd always want to make sure you have some water nearby to put your fire out in case something was to happen and stuff. But yeah, this is what I would do in an emergency situation if I was homeless and I had no other way to cook. Obviously, I would try my best to gather up some money and and get like some sort of little El Cheapo charcoal barbecue type grill of some sort that I could reuse multiple times. I know they have those little tabletop ones, and I'd probably either get one of those, or I've seen in my local Ace Hardware they had a little cheap kind of stand-up one you can get for about $20, and I noticed down here at my local Dollar General for around $30 they have one. So I would try my best to scrape up some money some way somehow to simply get one of those cheap grill, because that would be at the end of the day the best solution to have a nice small contained fire, because obviously you want to make sure you can contain the fire and always think about safety and stuff, because you set the woods on fire or burn the neighborhood down, you're definitely gonna be getting a stern talking to by local law enforcement and possibly end up doing some jail time and stuff. But yeah, what sure I'll do, let's get this fire going. And one of the things I would try to do my best is a lot of dollar stores and hardware stores sell little fire starters like this. Here is just some sort of old I found in my fire pit over here, some old fire starting charcoal starter stuff that will work for what I'm going to do. And so I'm gonna get here my matches and my cheap diamond matches, and hopefully this wind, I do apologize for the wind noise, but hopefully this will work out and I can get it started. Now what I'll be making for a meal is simply just a can of SpaghettiOs and a can of chicken breast meat mixed in with the SpaghettiOs. Now what you want to do is make sure to let your fire get down to like kind of a nice hot bed of coals, and every so often you want to feed your fire with sticks and stuff. Now doing it this way and why I would do it this way, to help contain the fire and make sure, you know, because a bigger fire obviously would be a little more dangerous. And then plus, this doesn't create so much smoke, so if you're in the area where you're out hiding, you know, and where you're not supposed to be this way, you don't produce so much smoke, and like a big fire would do, it be a little more, you'd be a little more private and stuff. So that's something to think about here. Ooh. So you want to get that on there. Obviously, some homeless people for cooking utensils would look through a dumpster, go dumpster diving, you know, they would do whatever they can to succeed. Now me, since I know about, if I was homeless and in this area, since I know about some places that help out homeless people in need, I'd go to them, tell them what I would like to have, and see if they could hook me up, you know. Also, using the internet, if you got Facebook and you're part of in your area local social media groups and stuff, that would be a good place to start and stuff, you know, maybe ask for help, you know, go to a community page, say, hey, I'm homeless, I would like to have a cooking pot, or whatever the case may be. I got 2 cans of the Dollar General Clover Valley SpaghettiOs, the little circles or O's and stuff. And one thing I like to try to look for is the pull tab canned goods, so that way you don't have to worry about trying to come up with money to buy a can opener. But that's one thing you definitely want to make sure to have if you can afford one, a can opener. But I try to mostly get the pull tab ones, like these here. These also have a pull tab. Now obviously I got this canned meat because that's what you'll want to, I would get, because, you know, canned meat lasts so long, has a long shelf life, versus trying to buy like frozen pound of hamburger meat in the frozen food section. So what I would be doing is going to a store and looking at what type of canned meat they have. And I like chicken, so I decided to get some chicken breast. And we're gonna see if this my little idea will work at simply. And of course, now you see why I'm using this big old pot here versus this, because obviously I'm making two big things of this, 2 cans of the SpaghettiOs and 2 cans of the meat. And I like the big chunks. Mix that up real good. And it also helps too, you can get like ham, you know, like Spam and stuff, and do whatever, you know, whatever you like in meat wise. You know, it's whatever your preferences. One thing I probably should have done, which I didn't do, was drain the juice from the meat so it wouldn't make everything so soggy, but that's okay. I'll just make it more, you know, chickeny flavor and stuff. Now, what I would try to do is if you're in the area, you know, out in the woods and stuff, you know, you want to think about, like in Michigan, we have bears, coyotes, foxes, and wild animals that could possibly attack us. So what you want to most likely do is kind of, if you're going to do this setup, cook somewhere away from your main campsite so you don't track wild animals and stuff in your area. So stir that up real good, mix that meat in there. And this would be a good meal if you're homeless and you got a group of homeless friends and one of you is able to afford some canned goods. You know, this would be a great, get you a couple pounds there about. Now we'll see if this. Hey, she works. Yeah. Obviously, what I would probably do more is on this. Now, the reason why this lid don't fit on there right, because it's deformed, but what I would obviously do is add more wire coat hangers around it to give it a little more sturdiness than what I'm doing. But obviously, you'll want to take your fork or spoon or whatever you're going to use, and every so often, then you'll want to make sure you stir that so the bottom of your goodies, your bottom of your food won't burn. And this stuff right here I'm cooking, again, the chicken is Clover Valley Dollar General brand, and simply the SpaghettiOs are Clover Valley. And the reason why I did that is because the Clover Valley canned SpaghettiOs was 95 cents, whereas the Campbell's SpaghettiOs was like $1 something and stuff. Now they obviously have, you know, cans of spaghetti with meatballs in it, which Campbell sells, which I would definitely, if you're a meaty person like me and like meat, I would definitely suggest getting the canned goods with a little meat so it gives you a little more flavoring. Now for the 2 cans of this Clover Valley meat was 5 something. Meat is always going to be more expensive and stuff, but again this would be something I would do in the event I was homeless and I had no other options for cooking, and I had to eat and I had to, you know, somehow survive. This is what I would be doing. This would be my way of trying to survive and stuff. So but obviously this is more like an emergency kind of basic setup, and that's all you got. You make do with what you got. And it's trial and error. I'm no professional bushcrafty survivalist bozo. I'm no professional guy. I never been in the military or anything like that. I know, and trial and error, and hope for the best. Now, the key importance when doing this is make sure you get a nice, good hot bed of hot coals going, because the more hot coals you got, the faster your food's gonna cook and stuff. And that's what takes me so long to cook this way, is because I'm not very good at starting a good campfire and stuff. So it takes me a little longer to get the hot coals going and stuff. You want to make sure every so often you're adding plenty of wood and stuff. Whatever you're going to be burning, some wood and stuff to keep that nice bed of hot coals. Because once you get that nice bed of hot coals, then that's when you want to start putting your food on the fire here. Now, obviously, when I did this, I didn't wait very long, so I didn't wait long enough to form the hot coals, so it took a little bit longer for this to cook than what it should have had I been a little more patient instead of impatient. And you always want to keep stirring your stuff so your food don't burn to the bottom of the pan. Yep, she's getting a little warm there. We'll let her cook a little longer. And it's helpful when you use products that are already kind of what they call fully cooked, and you just basically got to heat it up like these canned goods and stuff. So now again, this is just something I would do if I was homeless in an emergency situation and I had no other option and I needed to cook food. I would do it this way, obviously, versus using a big old fire pit like I have over here. I would obviously, like I said before, if I had a park nearby and I knew the park had charcoal grills, I'd be cooking food on those charcoal grills and going that route. But if I was out in the wilderness and I didn't want to make a big giant fire because I didn't want to really be seen, I wanted to be a little more private, I would go this way, because obviously the less smoke the better it's going to be and stuff. So that's why I would do it this way. And especially if I was in an area where they had a no burn zone where you couldn't have a open campfire or a closed campfire, I'd do it this way, and then it'd be a little more private and easier to maintain easier fire to maintain and keep going. And it doesn't use doing a smaller fire like this. It might take a little longer to cook your food, but you don't have to worry about trying to get big giant logs and stuff. You can easily just get little sticks like this and break them up and stuff. Yeah, she's starting to boil. Well, one thing to always remember when trying to do stuff like this is to remember practice makes perfect. Because if you don't try, then you're never gonna get succeed. So always remember that, when cooking or whatever the case may be. If you don't try, you're never gonna succeed. You'll never know what mistakes you made in the past and what to do and what not to do again. So keep that in mind. And try to have fun while you're doing this, or whatever. And I know there's going to be people in the comment section saying, "Oh, I can do it better than you can, and I would have done this, and I would have done that. You should have done this. You're a moron," and blah blah blah, whatever. Oh well, I'm a moron then. So morons be morons. I guess I are one. And another little trick you can always do too, if you ain't got no plates or bowls, you could always save your canned good and use that as a little thing to scoop up and eat just some grub too. So always keep that in mind. You could use this as like a little bowl to eat out of. Ooh, that's nice and hot. Grab my ladle over here and scoop me up some of this yummy food and give it a try. Mix it all up here. Yep, that's definitely cooked. That meat definitely got a little burn to the hide. Careful, caution, may be hot. Obviously took a lot longer than what it would if I would have cooked it on a gas stove, but in this video I'm trying to show you people a way you can cook without needing a gas stove or any electric stove, none of that. This is something I would do in the event I had no other way to cook food. No other way. I didn't have money for a barbecue grill or anything like that. Then I would do this method. What I would do in a homeless situation is I would try my hardest to come up with some money to get at least an El Cheapo barbecue grill, like one from the Dollar General. I seen they had one for $32, or the one I seen at my local Ace Hardware store for around $20 one time. One of those cheap ones to use as a fire pit like this, to use as a fire pit. One of those nice. Now the one I saw at Dollar General, that has legs on it, and it's just a regular stand-up barbecue grill. Then the one I saw at Ace Hardware for $20 was just basically one of those stand-up barbecue grills with no top on it, and the one at the dollar store for $30 had a top on it, and I would go that route to simply cook food. Then that way you're more higher off the ground and stuff, and to me it would make more sense, and stuff. If I was homeless, that's what I try to do, or at least one of those tabletop style charcoal grills than going this route. But this is for if I absolutely 100% positively had no other way to cook, and I needed to make a little fire to cook some food. This is how I would do it in that emergency situation. I had no money, and I had I found a little metal tin somewhere, some way, somehow, and I had something like this. This is how I would cook, or something like this. This is how I would cook. And I'm doing this video to give you people these ideas who may be homeless, and somehow you have access to the internet, and you stumble upon my video and you never thought of this. These little wires that I'm using to hold the pot up to give oxygen to the fire, to keep it going and keep the hot coals going to make the food. Them little wires, all they are is just wire coat hangers. I just took I had a pair of wire cutters, and actually this wire is so thin and cheap you could easily just keep twisting it by hand, and eventually you'd break it into the pieces you need to. But I just poked them in the ground like I do a tent stake, and use these little wire coat hanger wires to hold up the pot so the fire can get oxygen to the hot bed of coals and simply cook the canned goods. So and here's what I cooked again. Can of Clover Valley Dollar General brand SpaghettiOs and Clover Valley brand chicken breast meat. Now the chicken breast meat, I went with the 2-pack that you get for around $5, and this meal was 98. This right here, the can of spaghettis, was 98 cents. So. And when it comes to getting fire tinder and stuff, what I would be doing is, especially in the wintertime, is I'd have some sort of bag on me where I could collect a bunch of sticks, twigs, and stuff, and try the best to dry it out and stuff, so make it easier to burn and stuff. Because obviously green wood, wet wood's kind of hard to burn, so I'd be on the ground looking for like this nice dry sticks, and look for trees around, like pine and different things like fat wood and stuff, to help make the fire go better and stuff. Now, if you like this sort of content, give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like this video. Comment your thoughts below. What did you think of this video? Did you think it was a good video, bad video, whatever? And remember, another reminder, I'm no professional bushcrafty survivalist person. I'm just a person that's learning as he goes, and just one of those guys just trying my best to see what I can come up with. And that's it. I hope you all have a good day, and thank you for watching Boomhauer69's YouTube channel, and thank you for watching this video.